That's control, that's selfishness, that's entitlement. This woman is a monster.
Blake Lively is facing a major downfall after the public gave her the harshest reality check of her career.
Basically saying you're a liar, you misrepresent who you are.
She may think she can fool us, but everyone can now see through her manipulative tactics.
The court of public opinion, they've lost.
Both Hollywood and fans are distancing themselves from her, almost as if it's the last day on Earth, with her follower count dropping at an alarming rate.
And note the consequence has been terrible for Blake and Ryan in terms of people following them.
Blake Lively has officially become the most disliked woman in Hollywood. Once a so-called darling of the industry, she's now completely fallen from grace. Fans are fed up with her manipulative antics, and to make matters worse, Justin Baldoni, the man she tried to bury, is now emerging as the real winner in the public eye.
It's insane. What are you talking about? She genuinely is not aware of how insane she sounds.
At this point, Blake's reputation is in tatters, and social media is relentlessly attacking every move she makes. But there was one defining moment that made it clear she's spiraling: the Hollywood Reporter cover on February 22nd. What should have been a simple magazine feature turned into a full public execution.
There's a lot of comments that she puts in here that you're just like, why would you want to take over someone's movie? The outfits in this end are so out of touch. No, we don't want to watch bullies like Blake.
The image of her launching a slingshot at Baldoni is absolutely telling. It's a reflection of what she tried to do to him, but it backfired spectacularly. Now, she's the one getting slammed from all angles. She can cry and play the victim all she wants, but the numbers don't lie, and no one's buying her lies anymore.
That's insane and that's crazy. And this is a reason why I think in the future people are just not going to work with her, because it's starting to add up. People are realizing that this is a pathology.
Here's the truth. Hollywood can try to spin whatever narrative it wants, but at the end of the day, it's the fans who control the narrative now. Blake Lively? She's getting completely destroyed online. Since September, she's lost a staggering 864,000 followers. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has gained 23.8 million followers. This is her biggest drop in 5 years, and just in the past 30 days, she's lost 397,000 followers.
Team Blake Lively may think they have the upper hand. Sources say she has no idea what's coming regarding her battle with Justin Baldoni.
Meanwhile, Baldoni is up by 159,500 followers. And if that wasn't bad enough, February made things worse for her. She lost another 363,930 followers, while Baldoni gained another 1.9 million.
For the last 30 days, she has lost 397,000 subscribers, okay? That is not a small amount. If you similarly go over to Ryan Reynolds, he's lost almost the same amount, 1,000 more than her, 398,000 subscribers.
Before Baldoni's lawsuit, people were still believing her lies. But let's be honest, people fell for it, but then Baldoni revealed the receipts, and everything shifted.
When you weigh it against Justin Baldoni, look at his statistics. Over the last 30 days, he has received 206, or you could almost say 207,000 additional followers.
Mark Pora, the CEO of QR Code Generator Pro, even confirmed how quickly public opinion turned against her once Baldoni fought back. People realized this wasn't some feminist #MeToo moment. It was Blake Lively simply being a manipulative, power-hungry control freak who didn't get her way.
There's a version of this where Justin Baldoni was just Michael Scott in The Office, where he's just saying inappropriate things, but not with any ill will. But Blake Lively, much more different culturally, more about the power and thinking that this is about the feminist Me Too movement. How dare you do this?
Now, she's drowning in backlash. YouTube bloggers, T-channels, and personal creators are tearing her apart. Millions of views are racking up daily, and there's nothing she or her PR team can do to stop it. She thought she could play the victim card and everyone would rally behind her. But now, she's just the subject of mockery.
I found that incredibly telling. Hidden in a little footnote, her protection that, well, you know, I was told they were lawfully obtained. Yikes. Big, big yikes.
If fans have rejected her, Hollywood is completely done with her. And if there's one thing Hollywood can't stand, it's an actor who causes problems on set. Blake Lively? She's been exposed as a nightmare to work with.
I will happily participate in releasing any further leaks that they have, because the truth should be out there.
They're showing just a hint of leg, but not the whole story, if you catch my drift. I'm sure Blake wouldn't appreciate that reference. Too sexist for her liking. But here's the kicker. She wasn't even the director of It Ends With Us, yet she acted like she owned the whole production. This wasn't her movie, but she still insisted on script changes, overrode the director's decisions, and completely took control of the project like she was some wannabe Steven Spielberg.
Showing a little ankle, but not the whole leg, if you know what I mean. I'm sure she wouldn't approve of that reference. Too sexist.
What's even crazier? She had absolutely no authority to make these decisions. She was just an actress and executive producer, but somehow she thought that gave her free rein to turn the entire production into the Blake Lively show.
That's control, that's selfishness, that's entitlement. This woman is a monster.
And because of that, people were scared to stand up to her. Crew members and co-stars allegedly feared speaking out because they knew that if Blake Lively didn't like you, your career in Hollywood could be over. She's spent years perfecting this America's sweetheart image, but in reality, she's a manipulative tyrant.
So she's a serial fraudster. That's called fraud. She's a Me Too victim there. That's absurd.
It's not just crew members pulling away. Other Hollywood stars are distancing themselves, too. Jenny Slate and other unnamed actresses were reportedly pressured to support her fabricated narrative. But Blake's PR machine is failing badly because even her Hollywood friends are backing off. The Hollywood Reporter cover was the final nail in the coffin. That cover wasn't just a quirky illustration. It was a statement. It portrayed her as the aggressor, not the victim, and everyone saw through her desperate attempts to spin it as sexist.
She claims he sexual harassed her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement, and Ryan Reynolds turned on him too. And then she claimed that he unleashed a bad PR campaign against her.
That's when the industry truly turned against her. Let's be real. Hollywood doesn't care about morality. It cares about power. And once someone becomes a liability, they get discarded. Right now, Blake Lively is a massive liability.
Witnesses are staying anonymous. They're terrified of threats and bullying. It's a very neutral and interesting piece.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake can try to play the PR game all they want, but it's too late. The damage is done. People see her for who she really is now, and there's no going back. She's not just losing fans, she's losing Hollywood itself. Studios don't want to work with someone who hijacks productions and throws tantrums when they don't get their way.
Now the Hollywood Reporter has seemingly outed the two actresses' names. They're pretty much being bullied to respond.
Blake was given everything: a dream career, a perfect Hollywood husband, industry connections, and endless PR support. But she got too arrogant. She thought she could control everything, and now she's losing it all.
Even if Justin was too huggy or whatever the heck, or said she was sexy, none of this warrants this. And you still have to atone for what you did.
Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is coming out of this looking like an absolute saint. The contrast between him and Blake couldn't be more striking. While Blake is spiraling, throwing tantrums, and losing everything, Justin is literally living his best life, chilling in Hawaii, surfing, and enjoying the moment. Blake Lively's meltdown just keeps getting worse, and honestly, it's becoming almost comical to watch. She thought she could play the victim, but now she's being dragged from all sides, by fans, Hollywood, and even the media. The biggest slap in the face came on February 22nd when the Hollywood Reporter released a cover that completely shattered her false narrative.
Admitting that you go in there and you're like, yeah, I'd like to be an actor, and then you take over everything. I mean, just imagine taking this out of the context of celebrities, and you call a plumber to come fix your toilet.
The cover alone was enough to send Blake into a tailspin. It depicted her launching a slingshot at Justin Baldoni, something she's essentially been trying to do since all this drama started. But instead of owning up to the truth, she did what she always does: played the victim. She cried sexism, as if that would somehow erase the fact that she's the one who tried to ruin Baldoni's career.
Now Blake, allegedly, according to these sources, and there's a lot of stuff in here, whole piece is worth a read. Now Blake has shared with friends, allegedly, that she considers this a fight that's bigger than her.
The backlash was swift, with social media absolutely roasting her for overreacting to a cartoon. This is the same woman who constantly preaches about being a strong, independent feminist, yet she's throwing a tantrum over an illustration. The hypocrisy is off the charts. And let's not forget what the article actually revealed. This wasn't just about a funny cover, it went deeper. The article exposed that Baldoni's Baha'i faith played a significant role in his behavior. Not harassment, just cultural differences that were misunderstood in Hollywood. So, essentially, Blake took something completely innocent and twisted it into a scandal to sabotage him. Now, it's all coming back to haunt her.
I want to go through some of these pieces because, hear me out, here it is. So, from the outset, the feud's been framed as the newest chapter in Hollywood's ongoing fight for gender equality.
Blake thought she could win this legal battle. She clearly didn't anticipate Justin Baldoni actually fighting back. The moment he did, her entire case began falling apart like a cheap Hollywood set. Let's start with the most embarrassing part. She tried to erase key text messages from her lawsuit to make her case look stronger. But here's the problem. Justin kept everything. Now, all her shady edits are exposed, and legal analysts are tearing her case apart, pointing out its inconsistencies, contradictions, and blatant omissions. She thought she could rewrite reality, but now she's being exposed for the liar she truly is.
Unlikely to be remembered as the spark that ignited the next chapter of the Me Too movement. On the other side is a billionaire producer, a novice filmmaker, director, and a small Baha'i, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I think it's Baha'i employees who believe they are simply living up to the moral code of their faith.
Then there's Brian Fredman, Baldoni's no-nonsense, aggressive litigator, who is completely tearing Blake's accusations apart. Fredman isn't here to play PR games, he's here to win, and that's exactly what he's doing. With every move Blake makes, Fredman is already 10 steps ahead. Interview 25. Blake's last-minute amended complaint was a desperate act. Instead of providing real evidence, she just doubled down on vague accusations that hold no weight. She genuinely thought people wouldn't notice that she had no receipts, but at this point, her entire legal strategy is a joke.
You're basically saying you're a liar. You misrepresent who you are. Maybe that has something to do with why you're now being sued for promissory fraud, because you're admitting that you go in there.
Now, Hollywood lawyers are openly comparing this case to Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, except there's one huge difference. Blake doesn't have the public on her side. She thought she could weaponize the #Me Too movement, but instead, she's become the new Amber Heard. The entire internet has turned on her, and there's no coming back from that.
He's not a party to our case here in New York. That's what Brian Friedman did. He's just a savage. Brian Friedman is actually my spirit animal.
The most embarrassing moment came during the SNL 50th anniversary special when Ryan tried to joke about the situation with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. When Fey asked how he was doing, he awkwardly responded, "Great. Why? What have you heard?"
Just slaps her down. I don't know what else to say. Probably because he probably doesn't take kind to just being manipulated. You know, you should have just been like, I want an extension because I don't have any proof.
Have you heard? Yeah, bad move, Ryan. That joke backfired hard. Let's be real. This isn't some light-hearted drama you can laugh off. Some people thought it was funny, but most people dragged him for making light of serious accusations. It came off as tone-deaf and dismissive, and instead of shifting the conversation away from Blake, he only made it worse.
There's something about this story that kind of violates our safety in a way of feeling like people were nice and then realizing that they were totally behaving like psychopaths and were doing something taking it so far as Ryan Reynolds did.
Here's the thing. Ryan has spent years building this perfect husband persona, but now his reputation is starting to crack. At the end of the day, his defending a woman everyone can see is a manipulative, power-hungry liar.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey. How's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?